Welcome. It's the 30th day of March 2023, and yes, it's another beautiful and sunny day out here in the city of Port Harcourt, Rivers State, Nigeria, to bring you the newspaper headline here on TAP TV. My name is Cyril Aloysius. It's my pleasure to bring you headlines in papers across the nation, and Mr. Victor Siokul is the person to look at the papers with me. Sir, you are welcome.
Thank you, sir.
How do you do?
Good.
Yes, so without wasting much time, we'll go straight into the business of the day. And our first paper for the day is the Guardian newspaper. The boldest headline here in the Guardian says, punish those behind 450 cases of poll violation. NHRC CSOs insist. Punish those behind 450 cases of poll violation. NHRC and CSOs insist. All right, and over here on page 16 of the Guardian, we have 412 people killed as Nigeria's oil sector struggles with safety. 412 people killed as Nigeria's oil sector struggles with safety. That story is on page 16 of the Guardian. And on page 6 of the Guardian here we have DSS confirms interim government plot as Transition Council steps up activities. DSS confirms interim government plot as Transition Council steps up activities. That story is on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. And over now to page 3 of the Guardian here. It says national carrier airline operators no fate on April 25th. And still on page 3, we have amended audit bill proposes 5-year jail, 5 million naira fine for errant accounting officers. Okay, away now from page 3, we'll be going over now to page 4 in the Guardian, where we have Tinubu marks 71st birthday at Hajj, pledges to fulfill campaign promises. Okay, and lastly in the Guardian here, we have on page 29, this one says, outcome of BVN fraud probe will determine fate of protesting ex-agitators. Amnesty office insists. That story is on page 29 of the Guardian. Okay, that's the much you can take in the Guardian newspaper for today. Mr. Victor, please, I'd like to get your reaction to the boldest headline here in the Guardian. It says, punish those behind 450 cases of poll violation. NHRC and CSOs are insisting on that.
Okay, a whole lot out there. They mentioned 450. Okay, but at the end of the day, the police, whom Nigerians unfortunately lack confidence in, I will break it down further. That they announced that 781 persons were arrested with respect to the electoral violence that occurred and offenders. Okay, so you ask, sorry. The National Human Rights Commission, they have reported that 450 cases were brought to them. But if you ask me, will they be able to not just prosecute, but follow from the A to the Z of the case?
That's the question.
This is not new in Nigeria, that after the election, that we have electoral violators, electoral offenders. And we also know before now, the Ways reports that have been on the front burner, the back burner, the middle burner in Nigeria, where we can derive so many points from that report that can be able to help the nation, help Nigeria. But in many cases, we keep a blind eye about that report. A report that was done in all fairness and equity. But at the end of the day, we know our problems in this country. But do we have leaders, the right leaders to solve these problems? No way. So what am I saying? They made this number. Even if it means, my prayer is, okay, the police said they've reported 781 cases. Even if it means 100, that we are sure that 100 were prosecuted, jailed, and information released to everybody out there, so that in the next election, people will note that, see, if we go against the rules of the game, we might see ourselves behind bars.
Now, there are lots of question marks on this particular headline now, concerning the fact that, okay, how are we even sure that the persons that are being accused here of electoral violence, violation and all of that are the actual persons that are supposed to be accused? Because even during the election period where we saw a whole lot of violence and all that, we didn't see or hear where the police actually arrested anybody. Rather, we saw them, you know, just moping. And after something like, after seeing the police moping, you are now coming to see that or hear that they have about 450 cases. Now, the question is, when did they actually get these people? Was it after the election, after they must have carried out their duties, or did they go to people's houses to go and fish them? I don't get, because if you don't get them red-handed at the point of the crime, then how did you get them?
You can still get them afterward. Remember, mobile phones were used.
Okay.
Some CCTVs were on. Some incidents even happened
Victor,
at
let's tell ourselves the truth now. In this country that we are currently,
I do not have faith, like I mentioned. Like I said, out of the 781 cases that the police are talking about, even if it means 100, Mr. Suri. But you know what will happen at the end of the day? That even the police, in fact, if only the police can even investigate themselves.
Personally, if you ask me, I would say all these things I'm seeing now are just maybe just a flash in the pan from the security agencies to make us believe that they are working or stuff like that. Because I'm not having any of it.
What about incidences whereby in states, whereby the ruling governor and his party, they will get information that the police have arrested their agent or their their partner in crime. Many a times we know that the governors are the chief security officers of their states.
Yes.
What do you expect them to do? It's not just to put a call to the what do you call, commissioner of police. I say, my friend, release that person you guys have. And that will be it. So at the end of the day, you even be wondering, will they be able to prosecute it so that it will balance between parties, Labour Party, APC, and the PDP? And
I say again, all these are just to make the masses who are already angry to calm down, to see that, okay, the police are actually working and they have... Lie. I keep saying lie. It's just a way to make us, okay, you are working, you have caught them. Story.
But do you know where it will also be nice is when the CSOs and the media, men and women of the media, ladies and gentlemen of the media, to come out and follow up cases. Okay, it's done in other clients, and I understand that there are also fears among journalists. Look at the Jalingo guy, Abba Jalingo, so that was jailed in Cross River State. You know how these politicians go after journalists, and also, yes, we know that sometimes journalists
who seem to be too nosy.
And we also know that sometimes journalists some of them can also not play by their books. Okay, some of them do also err, but the majority of them out there that are following up cases, many of them get threatened. Many of them even get killed. Before you even note that this journalist is even following a case, you might not even know, because many a times they keep it to themselves
until they are done.
It materializes. Okay, but even during that period, that time of, before you know it, anything can happen, and these guys can do a whole lot of things just to get their slates clean. So
all right. So let's move straight now to the Vanguard newspaper, where we have some more interesting headlines. The boldest headline here in the Vanguard says on page 9, polls, DSS confirms plot to install interim government. Polls, DSS confirms plot to install interim government. That story is on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper. And on page 12 here we have a BVN fraud. PAP probes 513 ex-agitators linked to 1,370 accounts. BVN fraud. PAP probes 513 ex-agitators linked to 1,370 accounts. Okay, that's the reason on page 12 of the Vanguard. On page 8, we have ascribing ethno-religious motives to obedient movement will fail. Ascribing ethno-religious motives to obedience movement will fail. That's OB saying on page 8 there of the Vanguard. On page 6, we have bandits execute 5 of 60 abducted villagers in Niger. That's a sad one there on page 6. Bandits execute 5 of 60 abducted villagers in Niger. And in the world of sports on page 31, we have under 23 Eagles defeat Nigeria at Crossroads, according to NFF Scribe. Okay, over here to page 5, we have opponents kick as governors-elect get certificates of return. Opponents kick as governors-elect get certificates of return. That's the reason on page 5 of the Vanguard. On page 8, we have APC governors express confidence in Tinubu's ability to turn Nigeria around. On page 9, we have Buhari swears in ex-IGP Arashe as chairman, Police Service Commission. That's on page 9. On page 8 again, we have U.S. hikes student tourist visa fees by 15%. U.S. hikes student tourist visa fees by 15%. And lastly, in the Vanguard is on page 19, we have hope rises for 2023 budget as Bonny light price rebounds. That's on page 19 of the Vanguard newspaper. Okay, Mr. Victor. Polls. DSS confirms plot to install interim government. Please, I'd like to get your reaction to this headline.
Okay, yes, there are indications out there. We know the polity has been overheated. Will I say, first of all, from Festus Keyamo to Fani Kayode to Dati Ahmed of the vice presidential candidate of the Labour Party just in the concluded election. So you find out that these 3 major persons have, to my own understanding, have heated the polity and they've heated the atmosphere. Okay, so but aside that, before now we are also having news, a bit of news that that might just be an interim government, because this political race was very, very tensed. The atmosphere was fully tensed, and they tried to link it down to what also happened. If you go back to what happened in 1993 during the Abiola matter case, where General Ibrahim Babangida did not declare him winner, and we noticed what happened. The democratic era had to be moved, has to be postponed till 1999. So there is this same strong indication that there might just be an interim government. So, but the DSS are alerting the nation on time. See, there might just be an interim government because there are some perpetrators or some enemy of democracy that want to use this situation and thwart things so that there will be an interim government. But they are going ahead to say that they must protect the constitution. They must make sure that the Tinubu that has been declared president-elect will go ahead by May 29th, get the baton from General from the president Buhari. But I need to also say this. Yes, DSS, the DSS. One might ask, okay, who are these people? The DSS. The DSS, yes, they are in charge of the Department of
State Security.
State Security. Thank you so much. Okay, so they are supposed to be in charge with presidential and the state policing. Okay, state policing I not mean coming down as in to protect the president and the state government. Okay, so but you then now ask, they have been doing their investigations. Okay, will they also be able to bring out some already known perpetrators? One might say, why am I saying already known? I want to make mention of somebody like, you already know, I don't know if you know, what's his name? The Lagos guy. Siri, help me. MC Oluomo.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Why am I saying this? Because he came in the open to declare that if you are not going to vote for the APC, that he should not come out on that day of election.
Okay.
And what also happened? What transpired after that statement? We saw it in the glaring that the people that came out to vote for a party other than APC were maimed. They were disenfranchised. They were killed. They were brutalized. Okay. What happened afterwards? Their shops were vandalized. Their shops were burnt. So, but what is happening right now? The DSS, the so-called the security apparatus in the country, nobody has come out even to make a statement
concerning
or to even invite MC Olomo for interrogation. Nobody. That's to tell you that they don't have the will. That's to tell you that what they are after is...
So are you saying now that the DSS themselves are compromised as well?
I need to say that. Because
if after making such a statement and up till now you are still not being called for interrogation, then obviously something is wrong somewhere.
Yes. Reason, because if they allow this to just slide, what will happen in the next 4 years? Mind you, let me even start from this part. That during the presidential election, when those tactics, because this is more like a new tactics in our system. Beforehand, we were doing more of ballot box snatching and the rest and writing results. But now we've introduced using threats on people, on the voters. It happened during the presidential election. And what happened during the go back
I can
election?
also remember when some years ago, before Buhari took over power from Jonathan, Buhari said that he was going to make the government of Jonathan ungovernable. I actually heard that. And Buhari went ahead to become the president of the nation after making such a statement. So that should tell you a lot. In fact, even before then, someone had told me that, you know, Nigeria is not a democratic country, that democracy does not exist in Nigeria. If as a matter of fact, they are just using the name democracy just to deceive us, to make us look as if, but obviously we are not in the democratic, and it has been confirmed over and over again. For somebody to come out, somebody who is vying for a position of the office of the president of a nation, you're supposed to do everything possible to keep your slate clean and ensure that you don't seem like somebody who is, how will I put it now, like a terrorist. Because from that statement made by Buhari, one could actually, you know, make a whole lot out of that statement. You saying that you would make Goodluck's government ungovernable. It could mean different things. It could mean that just maybe he has a hand in some things that happened in Goodluck's era that did not make things possible for Goodluck's era to go in a smooth way. And
just like you are saying, when those utterances were uttered, what did the DSS do? Nothing. This time around, okay, let me also tell you, because there are streets, if you go to the street and ask people, they don't believe in the judiciary, they don't believe in the police, they don't believe in the current government. So who do you believe? If you now ask them, they will not say God. But are we going to send down God to come and rule us? No. Now, if you remember, when Olomo made that utterance during the presidential election,
he said it with so much confidence.
Yes, nothing happened, right? We saw videos of their agents, okay, the electoral offenders now. Them coming out to make those utterances during the presidential election. Then it became a wave in other parts of the country. Abia State, for example, the PDP, one of the PDP supporters in Abia State, came out in the public to say, if you are not voting our person, don't come out on the election day. Yeah. Okay. Remember, the Abia State person said it. I can't remember his name. Then MC Oluomo repeated himself, which he now said that he was joking. But now, what then happened? What kind of in Abia State, the police in Abia State went ahead to call for the person that made that statement, invited him and cautioned him. We did not see him in the public space again. Then you ask, why didn't the same thing happen in Lagos? Why didn't they call MC Oluomo in, interrogate him? Are you getting me? But nothing happened. So why will people not think that the DSS and the police, who DSS is a sub-umbrella in the police? Yes. Okay, why won't people think that the police are working for the ruling party? It's becoming more and more obvious and more glaring with the kind of things that are happening now. So one would easily
deduce that, oh, maybe, just maybe, these people know what they are doing, and of course they are working with and for the ruling party. So it's quite obvious. It's not surprising anymore. It's not surprising.
Then lastly, if we allow these things to just slide like that, yes, the DSS coming out, somebody wants to make it ungovernable, not ungovernable, want to declare interim government. But see, we need to check what is causing this problem. Why would this and this and this people be coming together to say they want to cause an interim government? They want to bring about an interim government. Check out the electoral processes, what has happened. The people that voted, put them under lock and key. Go and lock them up. Okay, prosecute them, charge them or fine them, or just something needs to be done. That we folding our hands and say, okay, interim, and the end of the day, nothing then happens, and we come back the next 4 years, and Nigerians will be disenfranchised. People will not come out to, because go and ask people now, who wants to come out and vote again now? Who cares again? Nigerians don't care. So it is left for the police,
and
it is left for the high institutions in this country to bring people back to their to the place of voting again, because we got it all. We understood the fact that Nigerians, the youth, really came out to vote this time around, and what happened?
It's now almost looking like the people of Nigeria are seriously craving for the intervention of foreign bodies in this particular issue right now.
You just said,
because it's obvious that the government are against the people.
Ourselves.
The government are seriously against the people, and as the people, as the large masses, they can do little or nothing about the situation and just keep their fingers crossed and hope they don't die in the process. And it's really alarming. For a country that claims to be a democratic nation, it's really saddening, it's really disheartening. And we do hope that things get better from now. But how do things get better when we are not even seeing any glimmer of hope? Day by day, everything that looks like hope is getting crushed in our very eyes, and it's now looking like there's no hope again for the common man. Even the judiciary that we're hoping on is now even looking like no way, because the judiciary also over the years have shown that they can be compromised, and they have actually compromised a whole lot of times.
Oh, serious.
So let's just
have something to say about
no, say your mind, dude.
Okay, lastly, in Rivers State, there is this strong allegation that a lawyer, I mentioned it 3 times, snatched the ballot box.
My God.
And there are evidences to that too.
My God.
What has happened? The NBA, no statement. The
and
DSS,
INEC,
no statement.
And INEC as a body,
no statement.
has found no reason whatsoever to cancel these elections.
They've not called the person to investigate him, nothing.
And someone wants us to believe that INEC is oh God. Okay, we'll go on a quick break right now, and then when we return, we'll give you the rest of the headlines. Please stay tuned.
Hey there, are you looking to record your videos, do your voiceovers, and take your professional pictures? Look no further. With our state-of-the-art newsroom, photography, kitchen for our food content creators, and exclusive children's studio, we certainly can deliver the best studio experience. Our carefully designed studio space can bring your diverse creative content ideas to life. We aim to consistently serve value to our customers far and wide. Come, let Tharv Media give life to your dreams. Tharv Media, a slice of infotainment.
Still on the newspaper review here on Tharv TV. You are welcome back from that short break, and taking you straight now to our next and last paper for the day. We shall be looking at the Daily Sun, and the boldest headline here in the Daily Sun says on page 6, DSS confirms plot for interim government. Okay, we already saw this before in the previous paper. And over now to our next headline. This one says NPC rules out religious consideration during census. NPC rules out religious consideration during census. That story is on page 27 of the Daily Sun. On page 28, we have Senate sets up committee to recover 6 trillion naira unpaid ground rent. Okay, more of that headline is on page 28. On page 4, we have court fixes April 25th for judgment in suit by airline operators against the Ethiopian Airlines, CJ, and others. Okay, that's the reason on page 4. Over now to page 28 again, we have FEC approves 95 billion naira for roads in Ekiti, Ondo states. Okay, and on page 4 again, we have bandits execute 5 victims for failure to meet ransom deadline in Niger, threatening to kill more free 3 women. Wow, that's a very sad story down on page 4 of the Daily Sun. And on page 29 and 26, we have Govt poll. INEC presents certificates to Kano, Oyo, Benue, Ebonyi, Nasarawa, Rivers, and other governors-elect. Bauchi, Akwa Ibom Election Tribunal receive 31 petitions. Okay, that story is on page 26 and page 29. And on page 26 again, we have a U.S. raises student work visa fees by 15%. And lastly, in the Daily Sun for today, we have on page 29 again, this one says, no plans to print Biafra currency, IPOB. No plans to print Biafra currency, IPOB. Denies formation of kangaroo government. That's on page 29 in the Daily Sun. Okay, that's the much we can take in the Daily Sun. And of course, the newspapers for today. Mr. Victor, please let me get your reaction to the news on page 26 and page 29. Says Govt poll, INEC presents certificates to Kano, Oyo, Benue, Ebonyi, Nasarawa, Rivers, and other governors-elect. Let me get your reaction to this.
Whoops. So, INEC, they were able to give out certificates of return to many of the winners, okay, out there, the governorship candidates and the State House of Assembly candidates, okay. Particularly in Rivers State, we have 31 assembly seats, and they were all taken by the PDP, and we have the Guba seats that was also taken by Fubara of the PDP. Okay. In terms of let's say equity, gender equity, we have in Rivers State we have a deputy Guba candidate, deputy Guba elected, being a woman. Okay, just like our current deputy governor is a woman. So one will say that the Rivers State politics, that they play politics including women here. And what also happened with respect to the State House of Assembly, we noticed that 6 women out of the 31 got elected, okay?
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one, okay, by the numbers. Yes, one might also say that it's not up to the numbers being promised. That's about 1/3, that every 1/3 of any vacant seat should be occupied by women. That's 33.3% about that. But this time around, if you say 6 on 30, we just have a little about 20%. And it's kudos for them, because in other states, I don't think you have up to that numbers, okay? But it's not just about that now. It's about, are you really the true leader? Did the people vote for you?
That's the question.
Or did your goons go out there to rewrite results and snatch ballot boxes? Pay the INEC officials huge amount of money. We saw what happened in Abia State, the woman that they wrecked, Professor Nana, that she came out when she was being welcomed in Futo. Okay, because she's a rousing welcome.
Giving a hero's welcome.
Yes. And I had a little bit of her speech. She's saying that, yeah, they really came with threats. She first said they came with threats, and she rebuffed them. They even still then came back with money. So you see how these guys play their politics. So it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that that's how we've chosen this country to play our politics. And the people that are fully responsible, I'll put it on them. Not just the politicians, but our security agencies. Because they follow these politicians. They gave them the room. We saw incidences where ballot boxes were smashed and police officers were
mopping.
We saw incidents where
And moping.
even a police officer collected ballot paper and threw it away.
And now they have come to show us 450 cases of people, and they want us to believe those numbers are real. Who are we deceiving in this country, for crying out loud? Who are we deceiving? When we saw things, we saw evidences, video evidences of how the security agencies during the election process stood and watched as criminals did their duties, and they could not do anything, and now they are bringing people. Come and say, Mr. Victor, the situation is just so annoying. It's so annoying. It's so annoying.
The election that is supposed to be free and fair, allow people to come out and vote. If you are popular, if you are good, you are good. People will vote for you. But in this case, they use by. I'm just wondering. Okay, look at how Nigerians are just leaving the country. At the end of the day, even the next election, say you might not even see people out there to come and vote. Oh yeah, now you want to. In fact, I don't know whether to even give them 20 years to keep ruling, and let's just not bother ourselves about the election.
The painful part of it is that it's not everybody that has the means to travel out. Those persons who are poor and don't have the means to travel out, what then happens to them? So they have to remain in poverty, which is a very, very sad one. Question is, must you rule the country? Must you rule? Must you lead? The people need to choose you. If they don't choose you, then rest. According to one of my friends, you say, rest, you too shake. In English, rest, you too shake. Rest.
And what the former president said, Goodluck Jonathan, that if you are too ambitious, go and join business, leave politics.
That's the problem.
But
that's the problem.
They will not listen.
Because when you're in politics and you are too ambitious, that over-ambitious nature in you might just lead you to do the unthinkable to ensure that you win an election. Because by the time you begin to think of the money you spend during your campaigns and think of every other money you've spent, you will not want it to go on a waste. As a result, you want to do and overdo to ensure that you win, which is a very, very bad thing for someone who claims to have honest intentions for the people. If truly you have honest intentions for the people, then you should let the people choose you. You should do your bit and let the people do their bit. You can't do your bit and then do the people's bit. No, that's not leadership. You should lead by example.
And my problem now is, even the Labour Party that P2B brought into limelight.
Yes.
You find out that even those bad politicians now are now joining even the Labour Party. What do we now call upon? Hey, my friend, what do we now call upon?
That is what
the Labour Party that is sacred. You are not seeing all those.
That is one explanation.
All those criminals.
Exactly.
Joining the Labour Party.
Mr. Victor, this thing you said now reminds me of what this actor, or I think Nosar Rex, was saying recently. He said he was trying to give some clarifications on what the obedience movement is all about. He said, obedience is not a party. That obedience is a movement. It's not really a party. So don't begin to think that, oh, obedience. So anybody that comes out in a Labour Party now, so even if we know this person is not capable, this person is not sound, so we should just vote him because he's on Labour Party. No, obedience is not a party, rather it is a movement for credibility, for integrity. People that have integrity, people that are genuine, that you know, okay, this person is capable of doing this, and you have seen, proofs that really gives a credit to his personality, then you can go ahead. That is obedient movement. Yes, and of course the name was coined out of the legend himself, Peter Obi. I call him a legend because he is a legend to me. But yes, obedience is a movement. So I just hope that, I pray and I hope that all these things happening right now in the Nigerian economy comes to an end sooner rather than later, because the Nigerians as a people, we have suffered enough. We have really, really suffered. Even before the election started, we have been suffering. And then on came the Naira redesign that led to more suffering, because a lot of persons who didn't have money before started wondering, how do you now get this new money? And then now redesign now left, we're now bringing back the old notes again, still suffering continues. So we do hope that along the line that everything gets to normalcy again. Thank you so much, Mr. Victor, for your time with me on the program today. I really appreciate it. And I say thank you to my wonderful viewers who have been faithful to your screen, because You are the ones that made this show possible. Without you, this program would be possible. Without you, we would not be here. Thank you so much for watching. Please, if you have not subscribed to this channel, make sure you do so. And after subscribing, turn on your notification bell so you can get notified when we drop new videos. You can also follow us on our social media platforms. On YouTube, we are Tap TV on YouTube. On Instagram, we're Tap TV_NG. On Facebook and Twitter, we're Tap TV. Thank you so much once again. My name is Cyril. Until I come your way again next time, do enjoy the rest of your day.